Have you ever woken up with a vague feeling of unease, only to realize that life has changed forever overnight? That's exactly what happened on that fateful Saturday morning at the cozy home of the Miller family. No more cheerful laughter, no more fragrant coffee awakening the senses. Instead, there was a terrifying silence, a bone-chilling quiet that enveloped the sun-drenched kitchen. In her familiar armchair, Eleanor, the mother, the grandmother they loved, had quietly passed away in her sleep, her heart having stopped after nearly 8 decades. No way. Mom was just talking to me last night. David, her son, exclaimed in a choked sob, his eyes unable to believe the stark reality before him. Susan, the ever-strong daughter, tried to swallow her tears, but the pain was too great, and she could only utter a hopeless whisper, "Maybe." Mom was tired. But as they began to sort through Eleanor's keepsakes, a nagging guilt began to gnaw at Susan's heart. She recalled how her mother had gradually lost weight over the past year, the seemingly endless fatigue that made even a short walk around the small garden a major challenge, the moments of forgetfulness that the whole family had dismissed as just old age. Had they missed something important? Had their busy lives blinded them to the silent cries for help that their mother's body had been trying to send? Dear friend, has someone you love started to experience subtle yet concerning changes in the past year? Many of us often think that death in the elderly comes suddenly like a gust of wind. But the truth might shock you. The body often sends silent warning signs for months, even a year, before life truly comes to an end. The problem is, just like the Miller family, most of us often miss these signs because they seem too small, too vague at the beginning. Only when we look back, when everything is too late, do we realize the clues that had been present for a long time, the last opportunities to prepare, to create meaningful memories that have passed. Eleanor's story is a wake-up call, a heartbreaking reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of listening. Do you want to know what those silent signs are? Do you want to equip yourself with the knowledge so you never have to regret missing the last opportunity with someone you love? If the answer is yes, then you've come to the right place. In this special article, we will together explore 6 important signs that often appear in the last year of an elderly person's life. These are not scary signs, but invaluable information that can help you open your eyes and heart so you can recognize the subtle changes that you might have overlooked or assumed were just normal signs of aging. To not miss any important information that could help you and your family, please click the subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell. Your support is a great motivation for us to continue bringing meaningful and helpful content like this. Right now, let's delve into these 6 silent signs together, so you can be better prepared emotionally and practically for what might happen, and most importantly, so you can make the most of every precious moment left with the people you love. Let's begin this journey right now. 1. The invisible erosion, significant weight loss. One of the earliest and often most noticeable signs that a person may be in their last year of life is significant and unwanted weight loss. What might initially seem like a welcome slimming down, a seemingly natural consequence of aging, can in fact be a profound signal from the body. While it's true that metabolism can slow with age, and some muscle loss is normal, rapid and unexplained weight loss is rarely a good sign. More often, this weight loss indicates that the body is declining in its ability to absorb nutrients effectively. As the digestive system begins to slow down, the body struggles to extract the necessary fuel from food. Inefficient protein digestion, in particular, leads to a noticeable loss of muscle mass. This decline in muscle strength not only affects appearance, it makes movement more difficult, increases the risk of falls, as Eleanor's story tragically illustrates, weakens the immune system, and makes the person more susceptible to infections. Furthermore, the body's changing physiology plays a significant role. As the body senses its gradual shutdown, it no longer sends the same strong signals to the brain to prompt food seeking. Appetite can decrease significantly. The simple pleasure of eating may fade as taste buds become less sensitive, and food no longer holds the same appeal. This can lead to a negative cycle. Eating less leads to less energy, further weakening the body and accelerating overall decline. Underlying medical conditions also frequently contribute to this phenomenon. Unexplained weight loss is a common symptom of many chronic illnesses that can progress silently for a long time before becoming obvious. Conditions such as cancer, heart failure, and kidney disease can all manifest with this insidious weight loss. Even conditions like depression or cognitive decline can indirectly lead to decreased food intake and subsequent weight loss. Families often try to address this by encouraging their loved one to eat more, offering favorite foods, or supplementing meals with protein-rich drinks. While these efforts are well-intentioned, if weight continues to decline despite these interventions, it's important to recognize that the issue may lie deeper than simple dietary preferences. The body is signaling a more profound transition, a preparation for a significant shift. At this stage, forcing more food may not be helpful and could even cause discomfort. Instead, the focus should shift to providing easily digestible and more comforting foods, ensuring adequate hydration, and prioritizing quality of life over quantity of food intake. The importance of nutrition and hydration in maintaining quality of life cannot be overstated, especially when you observe significant weight loss in your elderly loved one, particularly when it's accompanied by decreased appetite, increased weakness, or difficulty maintaining activity. This isn't just about appearance, it's the body sending a profound message. Understanding this message with clarity, compassion, and the ability to make each remaining moment meaningful becomes paramount as you navigate the path ahead. This leads us to the crucial second sign, extreme fatigue and weakness. 2. The heavy curtain, extreme fatigue and weakness. One of the most noticeable changes in the year before life ends is a profound and persistent feeling of tiredness that doesn't improve with rest. This isn't the usual fatigue after a long day, it's a deep exhaustion that makes even the simplest tasks feel incredibly difficult. Getting out of bed becomes a challenge, moving from one room to another requires significant effort, and activities that were once taken for granted, such as cooking, getting dressed, or even having a conversation, now feel incredibly draining. This isn't simply a byproduct of aging, it's a significant sign that the body is conserving its remaining energy as organ functions begin to slow down. The body, in its final stages, begins to prioritize what is most essential. The heart may not pump blood as efficiently as it once did, circulation weakens, and muscles don't receive the same level of oxygen they used to. This is why many elderly individuals in their final months often experience feelings of weakness, unsteadiness, and an inability to maintain the level of activity they once enjoyed. Another important factor is the slowing down of metabolism. The body is designed to produce and use energy, but as it prepares for its final phase, energy gets redirected away from powering movement, and the body begins to focus on conservation. This is why individuals experiencing declining health may start sleeping more, require longer naps during the day, and find it increasingly difficult to stay awake for extended periods. Some may even experience sudden drops in energy, appearing relatively okay one moment and then utterly exhausted the next. Perhaps the most heartbreaking aspect of this process is the emotional toll that extreme fatigue takes. Many older adults who once prided themselves on their independence begin to feel frustrated, even ashamed, of their inability to perform tasks they once did with ease. They may withdraw from conversations, avoid social interactions, or give up hobbies, not because they no longer care, but simply because they lack the energy. This can create a vicious cycle of isolation, where they stop trying altogether, only accelerating the rate of decline. For families, watching a loved one go from being active and engaged to increasingly tired and withdrawn can be incredibly painful. It's easy to mistakenly think they're simply being lazy or need to push themselves more. However, the reality is that forcing them to be more active is likely to be counterproductive. The most important support at this stage involves understanding their limitations, allowing them to rest when needed, and making their remaining days as comfortable as possible. If you observe your loved one experiencing persistent fatigue that isn't relieved by rest, consider it a significant sign that their body is undergoing a major transition. This is a time to cherish quiet moments, engage in gentle conversations, and support them without any expectations. Ultimately, what matters most isn't how much they can still do, but how loved, understood, and comfortable they feel. This leads us to the third sign, one that often intertwines with fatigue: cognitive confusion or withdrawal. 3. The fading light, cognitive confusion or withdrawal. As a person approaches the final stage of life, one of the most profound and sometimes distressing changes that can be observed is in how they think, communicate, and interact with the world around them. You might notice that someone who was once sharp and sociable now begins to experience increased forgetfulness, has difficulty following conversations, or seems disoriented even in familiar surroundings. They may repeat things they've already said, forget the names of loved ones, or lose track of time, even if they haven't experienced significant memory problems before. These subtle shifts can occur months or even a year before death. This isn't just typical absent-mindedness that anyone can experience. The brain, like any other organ, requires a steady flow of oxygen and nutrients to function properly. As circulation weakens and the supply of oxygen to the brain decreases, cognitive functions can begin to decline. This can manifest as increased confusion, difficulty making decisions, or even trouble recognizing people they've known for years. In some cases, there might be brief moments of clarity, followed by periods of confusion, as if their mind is flickering in and out. Another common sign is emotional withdrawal. Individuals nearing the end of life often lose interest in social interactions, becoming less talkative, less engaged, or simply preferring to spend time alone. Long periods of silence don't necessarily mean they no longer care about you or other family members. Instead, their brain may not be processing emotions and social engagement in the same way it used to. Conversations can become tiring, noisy environments feel overwhelming, and ultimately, many older adults find solace in withdrawing into their own internal world. You might also observe changes in their mood and behavior. Some may become more irritable, anxious, or easily frustrated, while others might exhibit an unusual calmness, detachment, or apathy towards things that once mattered to them. This isn't simply a change in personality. Often, it's a result of the brain adjusting to the body's decline. As cognitive function slows, emotions can become harder to express, and the person may stop reacting to situations as they once did. For family members, this stage can be particularly difficult as they witness a loved one gradually losing touch with reality or becoming emotionally distant. It can feel like you're losing them before they're actually gone. But it's important to remember that this isn't something they can consciously control. Instead of trying to pull them back into conversations or getting frustrated by their lack of engagement, the most loving approach is to meet them where they are. Speak to them gently, offer comfort through touch and your presence, and understand that even if they don't always respond outwardly, they likely still feel your love and support. If you notice your spouse, a dear friend, or another loved one becoming increasingly forgetful, confused, less engaged, or experiencing significant changes in their sleep, please know that your observations are valid and important. It's natural to feel concerned and perhaps even a little helpless. The most valuable thing you can offer during this time is your unwavering presence and understanding. Try to create opportunities for quiet connection. Perhaps sit with them while they rest, hold their hand, or simply be in the same room, offering a sense of calm and security. If they are still able to engage, reminisce about happy memories, look through old photographs, or listen to their favorite music. These gentle activities can provide comfort and connection without being overly demanding. Be patient with mood changes. Understand that irritability or sadness might stem from physical discomfort or the emotional weight of their situation. Offer reassurance and a listening ear without judgment. If sleep patterns have changed significantly, try to create a comfortable and restful environment. Ensure their room is dark and quiet, and talk to their doctor about any potential discomfort that might be disrupting their sleep. This leads us to the fourth sign, one that can be particularly distressing to witness: frequent infections and slow wound healing. 4. The body's weakening shield, frequent infections and slow wound healing. As the body begins to weaken, one of the most telling signs is a noticeable decline in the effectiveness of the immune system. You might observe that someone who rarely got sick before now seems to catch every cold, flu, or minor infection that comes their way. Illnesses that were once shrugged off now linger longer, and even simple injuries like small cuts or bruises seem to take an unusually long time to heal. These changes aren't random, they're often a clear indication that the body is losing its ability to defend and repair itself as it once did. One of the biggest concerns is the recurrence of infections. Conditions like pneumonia, urinary tract infections, UTIs, skin infections, and even oral infections can become more frequent as the immune system weakens. While each individual infection might seem like a separate issue, when they occur repeatedly or linger persistently despite treatment, it's often a sign that the body is gradually losing its ability to fight off illness. Even antibiotics, which may have been effective in the past, might seem less potent, requiring stronger medications, longer courses of treatment, or multiple rounds for infections that were once easily resolved. This happens because as circulation slows and organ function declines, the body doesn't respond as robustly to treatments as it once did. Another issue that often gets overlooked is the problem of chronic wounds. If you notice that small scrapes, sores, or bruises aren't healing properly or seem to keep reopening, it could be a sign of compromised circulation. Poor blood flow means that vital oxygen and nutrients aren't reaching the skin and tissues effectively. As the original text accurately stated, skin and tissue don't recover as quickly as they used to, especially in people who are less mobile, which makes healing slower and increases the risk of serious complications, potentially leading to dangerous infections if not carefully managed. What's even more concerning is that infections in the last year of life often don't present in the way we might expect. Instead of a high fever, an older adult might just become more tired, more confused, or less interested in eating. In fact, for many elderly individuals, a sudden decline in mental alertness can be the first warning sign of an underlying infection. Recognizing these changes early is crucial. It can make a significant difference in the level of comfort and support your loved one receives in their final stages of life. For those of us caring for someone experiencing frequent infections, it can be frustrating and heartbreaking. You might be tempted to seek aggressive treatments, hoping that one more round of antibiotics or one more hospital stay will fix the problem. However, there often comes a point where the focus needs to shift from aggressive cures to providing comfort and managing symptoms. Indeed, ensuring your loved one is well hydrated, maintaining good skin hygiene through gentle cleaning and moisturizing, and minimizing stress can often provide more benefit than pushing for endless medications that may only prolong suffering. If you are observing these signs of frequent infections and slow wound healing in someone you care about, it's important to communicate these observations to their healthcare provider. This will allow for appropriate medical management and help you make informed decisions about their care in the context of their overall health and well-being. This leads us to the fifth sign, one that involves noticeable changes in a very fundamental bodily function, breathing and circulation. 5. The fading rhythm, major changes in breathing or circulation. One of the more overt signs that the body is preparing for its final stages is a noticeable change in breathing patterns. You might observe that your loved one's breathing becomes slower or shallower than it used to be. Sometimes, they might pause between breaths, or their breathing might become irregular, with periods of rapid breathing alternating with unexpected slow periods. Some individuals may even experience a pattern of breathing characterized by cycles of progressively deeper and sometimes faster breathing, followed by a gradual decrease that results in a temporary stop in breathing. This is known as Cheyne-Stokes respiration. These changes in breathing can start subtly but often become more pronounced and frequent over time. Another common sign is a noticeable weakening of blood circulation. You might see that their hands and feet, even their nose and ears, feel cold to the touch. Their skin might appear paler, bluish, or even mottled, especially around their fingers and toes. This happens because the body is prioritizing blood flow to the vital organs, reducing circulation to the extremities. This is a clear indication that the heart is no longer pumping blood as strongly as it once did. Some individuals may also experience increasing shortness of breath, even with minimal exertion, such as sitting up, talking, or simply changing position. They might appear to be gasping for air or breathing rapidly. You might notice them breathing more frequently through their mouth, or they might suddenly have to stop talking to catch their breath. If they could previously walk easily across the room but now find it difficult, their lung function may be declining, and in some cases, fluid may be building up in their lungs. Fluid buildup in the lungs can make breathing even more difficult, leading to a persistent cough, crackling sounds in the chest, or even a feeling of tightness. While many might initially attribute this to a common cold, for someone nearing the end of life, this is often a sign of weakening lungs. This can make it uncomfortable for them to lie flat, and they might prefer to sleep propped up with pillows or in a recliner to breathe more easily. For those of us witnessing these changes in our loved ones, it can be understandably frightening. Your natural instinct is to want to help, to encourage them to take deeper breaths or to worry that something critical is happening. However, in many cases, this is simply the body's natural way of slowing down. While these changes may not always be reversible, there are ways to make your loved one more comfortable. Keeping the room cool, using a humidifier, or offering small sips of water can help alleviate some of the discomfort. In some cases, medications or oxygen therapy might provide some relief, but the primary focus should be on ensuring their comfort rather than trying to fix the underlying issue if you recognize these signs as part of a larger pattern of decline. Observing these changes in breathing, feeling cold extremities, or noticing a bluish or grayish discoloration of the skin are all indicators that the body is conserving energy and circulation is slowing down. This is a time to be present with your loved one, offering comfort and creating a peaceful space where they feel safe and secure. In these final months or weeks, the most valuable gift you can often provide isn't always medical intervention, but rather reassurance, dignity, and the knowledge that they are not alone. This leads us to the sixth and final sign we will discuss today, one that often involves a shift in their engagement with the world around them, increased social withdrawal and changes in mood and sleep. 6. The inward retreat, increased social withdrawal and changes in mood/sleep. As we touched upon earlier with cognitive withdrawal, a more pronounced and persistent social withdrawal can be a significant indicator that a person is nearing the end of their life. While some degree of solitude can be a normal part of aging for many, a noticeable and sustained decrease in social interaction can signal a deeper shift. You might observe that your loved one, who once enjoyed regular phone calls with friends or family gatherings, now prefers to be alone more often. They might decline invitations to social events, even ones they previously cherished. Conversations might become shorter, and they may seem less interested in the details of others' lives. This isn't necessarily a sign of sadness or resentment. Often, it's simply a reflection of their declining energy levels and a shift in their internal focus. Engaging in social interactions requires energy, both physical and mental, and as the body conserves its resources, these interactions can become overwhelming. Furthermore, changes in mood can also become more apparent. Some individuals might become more irritable or frustrated, perhaps stemming from physical limitations or cognitive changes. Others might become more withdrawn and quiet, showing signs of sadness or apathy. Conversely, some may exhibit an unusual sense of calmness or acceptance as they come to terms with the finiteness of life. These mood changes can be subtle or more pronounced and can fluctuate from day to day. It's important to remember that these emotional shifts are often intertwined with the physiological changes happening within their body. Changes in sleep patterns are also commonly observed. Your loved one might start sleeping for significantly longer periods, both during the day and at night. They might take longer naps or have difficulty staying awake for extended periods. Conversely, some individuals might experience insomnia or disrupted sleep patterns. These changes in sleep are often related to the overall slowing down of the body and how their brain is functioning. For those of us noticing these increased signs of social withdrawal, mood changes, and sleep disturbances in someone you care about, it's essential to approach them with understanding and compassion. Try not to take their withdrawal personally. Instead, offer gentle companionship without pressure. Sit with them quietly, hold their hand, or simply be in the same room, providing a sense of peace and security. Let them know you are there for them without demanding conversation or interaction. If you observe significant mood changes that seem distressing, it's important to communicate this to their healthcare provider. While these changes can be a natural part of the end-of-life process, it's also important to rule out any treatable conditions, such as depression, that might be contributing to their emotional state. Remember, these signs aren't exact timelines, but rather gentle indicators that a significant transition may be approaching. Observing these changes in your loved ones offers an opportunity for you to shift your focus towards ensuring their comfort, providing emotional support, and cherishing the remaining moments you have together. Final reflections: holding space with love and grace. My dear friends, as we navigate the later years of our lives, we often find ourselves in the role of both caregiver and someone who might, in turn, need care. Observing changes in our loved ones can bring about a mix of emotions, concern, sadness, and perhaps even a sense of helplessness. The 6 signs we've explored today, significant weight loss, extreme fatigue and weakness, cognitive confusion or withdrawal, frequent infections and slow wound healing, major changes in breathing or circulation, and increased social withdrawal and changes in mood/sleep, are not meant to frighten you, but rather to provide you with a framework for understanding the natural progression of life. Recognizing these signs in your spouse, your children, your friends, or other cherished individuals is an act of love. It allows you to be more attuned to their needs, to offer comfort in the ways that truly matter, and to cherish the precious moments that remain. It also empowers you to have important conversations about their wishes for end-of-life care, ensuring their dignity and preferences are respected. Remember Eleanor, whose story we began with. Her family, in their grief, realized they had missed some of these subtle whispers. By understanding these signs, we can strive to be more present, more observant, and more prepared to offer the support and love our dear ones need as they approach the final chapter of their lives. If you are currently observing these changes in someone you love, please know that you are not alone. Reach out to other family members, friends, or support groups for emotional support. Talk to healthcare providers about your concerns and ask for guidance on how to best care for your loved one. This is a time for immense compassion, both for your loved one and for yourself. Allow yourselves to feel the emotions that arise, and remember that your presence and love are the most valuable gifts you can offer. Focus on creating moments of peace, comfort, and connection. Share stories, listen to their memories, and let them know how much they mean to you. As we conclude this exploration, let us carry with us a sense of awareness and a commitment to being present for those we love. Let us not shy away from the difficult conversations, but approach them with open hearts and a willingness to listen. And let us remember that even in the face of life's inevitable conclusion, love, connection, and peace can still prevail. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this has provided you with some comfort and guidance. Please feel free to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your insights are valuable and can offer support to others navigating similar journeys.